All right, we have a few things to talk about in this video, but the Las Vegas Raiders just added the final piece to their roster that I think really helps make this defense complete, and that is cornerback Darnay Holmes. All right, they got him from the New York Football Giants, and I don't know why. It's just me. When I think of team names, I just naturally think of NFL primetime and how did Chris Berman say it? Like that's where I'm at. I don't know how you feel. That's where I'm at. All right, we're gonna get into this in other areas of the roster. But if you're not used to this channel, if you're new to this channel, my name's Craig. Me and my buddy Chris, we started this channel. It's not our first one. We are Lions fans. We are not shy about that. All right, but we love the NFL and we love talking football, and the Raiders are one of those teams that we have found is a lot of fun to talk about, and also they have a lot of kind of good things going. All right, Telesco, new GM, all that fun stuff. It's gonna go well for you guys. I promise you that, and it might not feel like flashy moves, but I promise it is, and it's moves like this one, as you can see here. They have Darnay Holmes that they brought in. This is especially important with Brandon Faison being put on IR at the beginning of this year. So until he comes back, I believe it's a 4-game IR, you are going to need some more depth at that cornerback position, which you don't have all the depth in the world at right now. All right, Jack Jones, I made a video on him. I said he looks like he's ready to be that next guy, all right, at corner. And I don't just mean for the Raiders. I mean like a top 10 lockdown type corner that is absolutely making plays. He looked really, really good in preseason. He looked good last year, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do. You have Bennett on the other side with Hobbs in the nickel spot, but then after that, you have a 4th-round pick who, by the way, Darnay Holmes, 4th-round pick. All right, that's what he was in Decamarion Richardson, and then again, you have now Darnay Holmes, who is able to be a backup. Here's why I like this. All right, he is not a rookie. He is not a guy who we've never seen before. He is a guy who's played 4 years in the pros. All right, he was a 4th-round pick out of UCLA. He's a Bruin. All right, and what just blows me away when you watch the tape, go ahead, find it. Twitter his name. All right, search his name in Twitter. All right. What you are going to find from this guy is a guy who excels in zone coverage. You are going to find a guy who excels in zone coverage. Yes, sometimes he struggles getting out of his breaks. He can stumble, things like that in man. But not only does he excel in zone coverage, he excels in it and can actually do well in man because he just understands how to play defense. He's only 26 years old, but again, he's had 4 full years of NFL experience. All right, one time he got over 500 snaps. So he has played a bunch of football, and the results have been fine. But that's exactly what you're looking for from a 4th or 5th cornerback on a team. You're looking for a guy who can come in a pinch. You're looking for a guy that if somebody gets hurt, if a rookie's not ready, you're looking for a player who can come in and win you games. I felt like this was an area for the Raiders that they needed some help. They needed some veteran leadership on the back end in order to help them make the next spot, especially with Brandon Faison starting on IR. So that's kind of one of those big moves that I'm like, not big moves, little moves, where you look and you say, okay, all right, Tom Telesco, the GM, I see what you're doing. I see why this can be successful. You already have a lot of really good things going for you on the defense. All right. You arguably have one of the best defensive lines in football because you have arguably one of the best, if not the best, probably the best D end in Max Crosby, and you have a top 5 D tackle in Christian Wilkins. So if you have that, you are just naturally going to have a phenomenal defensive line. You just need a defensive backfield that can hold up. I've talked about this before with the offensive side of the ball. A good offensive line makes every player better. It gives the wide receivers more time to get open. It gives the quarterback more time to make a read. It opens bigger holes for the running back. Having a great defensive line on the defensive side does the exact same thing. The corners don't have to cover for as long. Or because you don't have to send a blitz as often, they have more players to cover. That's the beautiful part about it. When you have a great defense, you can play a lot of zone. You can play a lot of man. It doesn't really matter because you have a phenomenal defensive line. And if you only need to send 4, having 7 guys drop back into a zone is a heck of a lot better than having 5 or 6. Those zone blitzes can be tricky. So when you're not needing to send blitzers all the time because you have guys like Wilkins and Crosby, and I know there's more, all right? I know there's more. But when you have those guys, you're like, okay, I get it now. And I see what they're trying to do. All right, so here's what I want to do at the back half of this video. I love the pickup. I just do. I think it's a smart veteran pickup on a guy that is not too old where he can't play, but he's not so young that he doesn't have that presence. All right, now what I want to do is I want to look at the offense. All right, this is as a few days ago, but it's the best spot I could find the entire 53-man roster. Understanding changes absolutely do happen, and we can always check, our homework here with things like this. All right. So, for example, Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell, those are your final 2 quarterbacks. All right. Whereas on here it has Peterman still on there. All right. Running backs: Zamir White, Alexander Madison, Amir Abdullah, and Dylan Laube. All right. So we're looking at these things. And what I enjoy about this is you have the youth of White and Laube, but you have the leadership and veteran presence of Madison and Abdullah. Abdullah can be your pass-catching back, right, or your third down back until Dylan is fully ready. That is a smart thing to do at the running back position. And I think for a team who just lost, all right, Josh Jacobs, overrated. He's overrated. All right. Your running back room is better than it was last year. That's just where I'm at. Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, DJ Turner, and Tyreek McAllister. I love the outside presence of Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers. I really do. I love speed in the slot with Trey Tucker. This is really, really good. I understand Jacoby Myers isn't going to blow anybody away with his athleticism, but he's going to get a lot of one-on-one opportunities, and he can win in those because you have to pay attention to Devontae Adams. Tight end, you have another wide receiver, let's be honest, in Brock Bowers. The question is how many times are they going to put Brock Bowers, motion him out wide? What a beautiful thing to have a tight end that can be a wide receiver, that you can motion him out, that you can use your tight end in motion to see what the defense is doing. It doesn't have to be a wide receiver. It doesn't have to be a running back. It can be a tight end, and you can play him and Michael Mayer, who's more than capable to be an inline tight end. Just phenomenal thing. Zach Gentry's not a bad tight end, and the fact that he didn't make your roster is really, really good. All right, we know what the offensive line is. They actually looked a little bit better. I'm excited to see what you can do with this offense and defensive line. This is where you win. If this is an offensive line that can keep Gardner clean, if this is an offensive line that most importantly can run block, you're going to have something special in it. I already talked about the defensive line. I'm not going to spend a ton of time talking about it. There's names here. And if this guy right here can start living up to just a fraction of the draft type, look out. Look out for what this D-line could do. All right, Spillane at linebacker, Diablo, Masterson, Tommy Two Thumbs, Tommy Eichenberg. By the way, I call him Tommy Two Thumbs because his senior year at Ohio State, he had both thumbs in a cast for his game against Michigan, and it was kind of funny. He played really well even with 2 thumbs in a cast. He is one of those guys that might not wow you with his athleticism, but man, can he play. We spent time talking about the cornerback room. I don't need to do that. And then on the back end, they have what is needed, and they have a defensive-minded coach. This is a team that I think can surprise some people. All right, the Chargers have a new coach. We all get it. Like, we know what Harbaugh is, what he has done in the past, and how he turns teams around. But that is a roster that is sitting on $50 million in dead money. There's a lack of depth. And we don't know. Bo Nix looks good, but we don't know what the Broncos are going to be. This is a Raiders team, I'm telling you right now, that could sneak in the playoffs, all right? I think they absolutely could, all right? And even with not having maybe the long-term answer at quarterback. But it's a good roster. All right, thanks for watching. For more Raiders videos and more just flat-out NFL content of the stories that you don't hear every day on the teams that aren't always in the national media, check us out, like, subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one.